the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Trump!
Play ball, motherfuckers!
We're so fucking fired up. Welcome to another episode of the Luke Pipala Show with Shide. And yes, Trump is now our 47th and 45th president. Donald J. Trump has won the 2024 presidential election, and it was a red wave.
It was a landslide, bro. Kamala got mollywopped, honestly.
She got more than
She really did. She like, I don't know. I was surprised that she lost the popular.
I wasn't. I predicted it.
I mean, I know you did, but in my mind, the way that at least the right media set it up, where we were going to see, this huge influx of illegal immigrants voting, it was going to genuinely be a battle to get an actual reading on where U.S. citizens stood.
Right.
And here we are. We prevailed.
We did prevail. I mean, look, dude, you can literally, I'm going to go back to that short that I made, and we could just talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, fellas, but I predicted
bro,
this shit.
you killed it. I
realistically predicted it. And you know what? I'm very confident. Now, the only thing that I did not predict, though, was Trump winning Michigan. I predicted that he would lose Michigan, which is fine. But the fact that, I was able to predict
drilled all the
of it.
swing states, bro.
Exactly, and the popular vote. So look, okay, this is a short that I made. This is what we talked about last week, all right, in regards to Trump winning the election. I predicted he would win the election and the popular vote.
Yeah.
Trump's going to win.
I do too.
And I think he's also going to win the popular vote. You want to talk about the swing states? I'm telling you, he will win North Carolina.
Bang.
He will win Georgia.
Bang.
He'll win Arizona. He
Bang.
will win Nevada. New Mexico is on the border. I don't think he wins New
but it's
Mexico.
okay.
It's close.
People are talking about Virginia and New Hampshire would be up for grabs. I don't think he wins either of those.
No.
It'll be crazy if he does, but I don't think. No. You want to talk about Pennsylvania. You want to talk about Michigan. You want to talk about Wisconsin. I think he wins Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I think he wins Wisconsin. I do not think he will win Michigan. That will put him at around 300 electoral votes. My prediction is he will also win the popular vote.
There you go.
Dude.
That's what will happen.
Crushed it.
Come
And everybody
on.
in the comments is like, bro, you're
Profit.
a messiah.
Profit. Which, not, but okay, so
I mean, it
whatever.
is crazy.
So,
You look back on it now.
You want to look at this shit real quick? Because this is
bring it
incredible,
up.
right? We're gonna bring up a graphic for you guys, because this is just unbelievable. This is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote for president.
Dude, look at the
20
holy
years.
fuck, I am loud. Look
No,
at
it's
that red
okay.
wave.
Look at this red wave. All right, look at this. All right, so Kamala 226 to Donald Trump 312. Astounding. Look at this.
Right.
So he got right around the amount of popular votes he had in 2020.
Yeah.
Kamala, obviously, a little bit under 71 million. But look at this, bro. Look at the red wave. Look at the map. And so it's just very crazy that he got this many votes. And I really can't believe he won the popular vote, because this has been the past basically decade has been mainstream media, people in media villainizing this man, saying that this man is Hitler, and he's obviously not Hitler.
Yeah.
So we can just establish that.
Right. So keep that up, though. I just really think about where everybody lives, why the Electoral College exists, because genuinely, if you look at middle America, it's always red. It always stays red. So,
Always.
when we talk about the importance of these swing states, how important, number one, flipping Nevada, I believe, because Nevada did vote blue in 2020, correct?
And 2016.
Yes. So flipping
He never
Nevada
won
was huge. Flipping PA, because PA went blue last year, didn't they? or last election, because I know
2020.
Yes,
which nobody gives any credit to this guy. His name is Scott Pressler. Have you seen him?
Yes, yeah.
He's actually a gay guy, believe it or not.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly who you're talking about. He actually, I enjoy listening to him. Other than the gays on the left, like Harry Sisson and all them.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy doesn't get a lot of credit. We just have to give Scott Pressler credit. I believe he registered over 180,000 Republicans.
Yeah,
80,000 of those were people that were Amish.
Right.
Just in Pennsylvania.
Well, so
just
I
in
saw.
Pennsylvania.
Did you see the clip? It was something to do with. I want to say like something happened where the police raided a Amish home, or something happened with the Amish, and it just invoked like every single Amish person to go out and vote and to vote for Trump. And it's crazy because when we woke up, she rolled over because she had fallen asleep before the election was over, and she's like, you know, what happened? And I was like, baby, we won. Baby, we won. And she was literally like, the first things out of her words, or first words out of her mouth were the fucking Amish. Like she's like the Amish won this election for Donald Trump. And I was like, I mean, you can't. Not exactly, but they definitely didn't help, or they didn't hurt.
They came out in full force.
Right.
And something that's really interesting, let's transition over here now. Now we have a graphic, okay? Mm-hmm. So it's very convenient for the Democrats and convenient for the Republicans because they had the regulations and the rules here. All the states, every single state with a voter ID law went red. Trump won that. Every single state without voter ID laws went blue, went to Kamala Harris. Look at this, dude. You got Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Tim Walz, Illinois, New York, Virginia, and all those New England states.
Right.
However, it is interesting to point out, too, yes, this did happen, but I was listening to the numbers, okay? Trump only lost by 8 points in Illinois. Liberal Illinois, with the city of Chicago as the third most populous city in the country. Now, what's important about that is he lost it by 17 points in 2020.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
New Jersey, he lost that by 5, and New Jersey is now being considered a swing state.
Yeah,
Donald Trump lost New York by less votes than Kamala Harris lost Florida by.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
California, too. More counties voted red in California than they did in 2020. So everybody that says, oh, my vote doesn't matter, this state's going to go blue, or vice versa, your vote fucking matters.
Everybody's vote matters. And I don't want to say that I was ever like a skeptic of voting.
Shit, I was like, a little bit.
I don't know because when you are outspoken against, I don't know, when you're outspoken against it, it's very tough for people to take you seriously. Does that make sense? Like certain people, it's hard to make you take seriously because now you're siding with Donald Trump, who's an election denier, and
in their eyes,
right? And so, like, I don't know, like in this election, there was nothing to me that was like, wow, this was rigged for Trump. And I looked. It just doesn't help that in 2020 we found how many votes at fucking 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Like
10 million more, almost 10 million more votes for Joe Biden than there was Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
people
that was
have
crazy.
Talked about this too, and I don't have a graphic because I didn't want to spend too much time on that. But when you think about it, Barack Obama got around 65 million votes in 2012. Hillary Clinton got around 66 in 2016. Obviously, she won the popular vote over Trump. Obama was president. And then you have Joe Biden in 2020 with 81 million votes.
Yeah.
Trump had 74.
Yeah.
Trump had the same, probably a little bit more this time around, right? Kamala Harris only had 71. I mean, it was a little bit, you could say this argument with a little bit more comfort, I'd like to say, and try to argue that the election was rigged in 2020 a couple days ago when Kamala was like at 65.
Just sheerly based off of voter numbers.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit more skeptic now. I'm not going to lie. I texted my aunt after Trump won, after seeing those numbers, and I said, you know what? And she was, she was talking about Trump was still the president and all that stuff. I said, you were right. Not about Trump being the president still, but about Trump it possibly being rigged. And she
Yeah.
goes, "You're just getting here?" I was like, "Awesome." I was like, "That's fine."
I'm just comfortable enough now to talk about it.
Well, I'm at least going to question it, but there's something that I will not question, Ryan Scheimantel, and it is a particular voting bloc who won Trump the presidency.
Yeah.
And that is Gen Z men,
Yeah.
us, okay? So right here, we have a graphic,
Right.
age by gender. We have men 18 to 29 voted 49% for Republicans, 47% Democrats. Men 30 to 44, 53 to 43 voted Republicans. And as both Gen Z men, we're both 23.
That's huge.
We're both 23, and you see people online, particularly the white liberal women, saying, "Why are Gen Z men Nazis and Hitler sympathizers all of a sudden? Why are they fascist right-wing people?"
Right.
First of all, we're not fascist right-wing people, but second of all, they're so mad, right?
Right.
Why did this happen? They're all crying online, and we'll get to those videos. Why is this happening? When you tell an entire generation for the better part of a decade that they are evil because their masculinity is wrong, this thing that makes you a man is wrong.
Yep.
You're not supposed to be like this. What do you want to be the leader of a family? You want to have a family? You're evil. You're wrong. When you tell a generation that message for the better part of a decade, especially the white ones too,
Yeah.
who were not even born during slavery. Slavery was years and years and years. We were not even around to see the tail end of it.
Right.
We had nothing to do with it. And yet you want to villainize an entire section of a male generation just because of slavery. We had nothing to do with it, and we want nothing to do with it. It was a bad thing. But when you continue to hone the fact that this group of people is bad, young men are bad, we're trying to clip their masculinity. We're literally trying to clip their balls.
Kamala Harris called him stupid.
Exactly. So when you continuously do this, don't be surprised when that group of young men doesn't vote for you. Because number one, who's going to follow somebody? Who's going to follow a
Right.
leader if you continue to insult them? If you literally insult them for a decade.
Yeah.
Number two, it is the coolest thing, right? When you have young people,
Right.
what are you going to do? You're going to rebel against the culture. Right now, the culture is mainstream leftism, right? You see it in the media.
Yeah.
Counterculture is things like Trump, masculinity, religion. People are going back to church,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't want to say the comfortable thing, but the comfortable thing for young people
Right.
is to rebel, because why do you want to obey the system?
Well, and it's very funny that you bring up like the I don't want to say the division, but the polar opposites in the campaign themselves. If you watch and you're talking about, constantly for the better part of a decade, talking about how, masculinity is wrong and all these things are wrong, and you look at the two campaigns, you look at Trump picking up an endorsement from Joe Rogan. I guarantee you the Joe Rogan vote, the Joe Rogan endorsement,
It helped.
it helped that 18 to 29 because that is the demographic. I mean, I know that there's people 30, 40, 50 that listen to him. But
that's the majority.
That's the podcast that we listen to. You look at somebody like Dave Portnoy. Like, that's huge for that 18 to 29. Like, we can joke and call them degenerate gamblers or degenerate men, like, because we are degenerates.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we can say that.
But, like, if you really dive deep into the campaign, you look at who did Kamala Harris have endorse her and go up on stage and talk and just pander to nobody, because you're not pandering to anybody in those
Right.
situations. You're bringing up fucking Cardi B. You're bringing up Meg Thee Stallion. Like, you're not.
They're all twerking on stage.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
That's not appealing to young men.
Right. You're gonna pander to the like, not to be racist, but you're gonna pander to the young black vote, whether that's male or female.
Well,
you're
she
gonna
lost
pander
that
to
too.
and you're gonna pander to the younger female or that mid-age female, but nobody's picking up that 18 to 29-year-old. Nobody 18 to 29 who's a white man. I say this with a grain of salt. Nobody gives a flying fuck about Cardi B. Nobody gives a flying fuck about Megan Thee Stallion. Like, those people, they're not in my playlist on repeat.
No.
I don't give a fuck about them. Usher hasn't been relevant since 2012. I don't give a fuck about Usher. Then you have those dumb whores on The View. No 18 to 29-year-old is watching these retards talk on The View. Like,
We will talk about them, my friend. Don't you
right.
worry.
So, like, where are we where were surprised that 18 to 29-year-olds voted for Republican, and now we're criminalizing them by saying that they're voting for Hitler and they're voting for this fascist society where women are going to get stripped of their rights.
First off, that's not true.
It's not. Like, and have you seen, just because this is a podcast, we'll have the conversation, have you seen like all these videos coming out of even some people on the left saying, do you know how disrespectful it is as a woman to sit here and say that your rights are being taken away when there are women that can't even go out in public without their entire bodies being covered? They're not allowed to go out in public without a man. Like, they're not allowed to have jobs. They're not allowed to run companies, for sure. And now we look at American society. What rights are being stripped?
That's
what rights are being stripped. And I'm going to send you a tweet once we start going, just because I just want to hone down on. I mean, I could probably just read it now, and then I'll send it to you afterwards, because you could just post it when we're talking about this clip.
But while you're doing that, I want to make a final point on this topic. Like, it just baffles my mind because young people are always a layup for the Democratic Party, right? If you look at Obama won the young vote, not just the young female vote, but the young male vote too. He made all of these millennials lifelong Democrats, Democrat Party loyalists, because Obama was a young candidate. Obama spoke to hope. He spoke to change.
And he was a great speaker.
Okay, he energized young people. He came from one of the worst backgrounds, a single parent childhood, poverty, ended up going to Harvard, an intelligent young man at the time, with a bright hope, change message for the future. Now, did it change? You could be the judge of that. But still, he was able to bring out all these people. Young people are always a layup for the Democratic Party. Do you know how bad you had to fuck up to get young people to... Seriously, do you know how bad you had to fuck up to get young people to vote Republican?
It's so true.
Do you know how bad you had to fuck up?
So bad.
Dude, if you didn't villainize villainize us, we probably would have voted for you. I'm sorry. You fucked up bad.
Right.
Fire the campaign managers.
Right.
Fire everybody with the DNC. Fire them all.
Try to get Pat McAfee. At least go on the Joe Rogan Experience. Like, talk to fucking Barstool Sports. Do something. But the issue is you don't have people that can just morph into that. You look at people like Aiden Ross, the Nelk Boys. I don't know if Nelk Boys actually had Trump on.
They did, multiple times.
Theo Vaughn. Like, Trump ran a phenomenal campaign, and Kamala Harris's. And I'm saying this for that younger vote. Obviously, there's no 50-year-olds that really give a fuck that he went on Theo Vaughn. I didn't send it to you. I have a screenshot of it.
That's fine.
But anyways, to circle back to women losing their rights. Number one, when we talk about IVF, Trump's not getting rid of IVF. Why would why the fuck would Trump be anti-abortion but anti-IVF as well?
I mean, he has said multiple times, multiple podcast interviews. J.D. Vance too has said, listen, we don't want to take abortion away especially those three exceptions.
Exactly.
Rape, incest, life of the mother.
So
we don't want to do that. He said multiple times, even on Joe Rogan too, how he knew people that he grew up with that had abortions, women that he grew up with that had, and it's a tragic thing.
Right. And so Trump did tweet this out in October, but I just, like, there's so many women that I know that are just going insane because Trump won. And Trump did tweet this out in October at some point. He said, in all caps, as Donald Trump would.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I would not support a federal abortion ban under any circumstances and would, in fact, veto it because it is up to the states to decide based on the will of their voters, in quote, or in parentheses, the will of the people. Like Ronald Reagan before me, I fully support the three exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I do not support the Democrats' radical position of late-term abortion as an example in the 7th, 8th, or 9th month. That does not include life of the mother. In that instance, life of the mother would still take over, obviously. Mm-hmm. In case there are any questions, the possibility of execution of the baby after... Oh, sorry. In case there is any question, the possibility of execution after the baby after birth, or of the baby after birth. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's it. That's all you need to read. That's all you need to read.
All he said.
And then the left ruins their entire campaign.
I know. They really did ruin it. And so people have been commenting. There's a couple social commentators that have expressed their disdain, and we will get to a lot of them in a little bit. But one in particular, Bill Burr was recently on Saturday Night Live, literally yesterday, and he had an opening monologue. Went for about 8 minutes. But part of it, what he was doing is he had part of the monologue where he was talking about Trump winning the election.
Okay.
And so I haven't seen this. I heard it was funny. We're going to play
Yeah,
it
I
for you
haven't heard
guys.
it
And we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I didn't want to play the whole thing. But, I mean, come on. Is there anything more accurate than that?
I mean, that's where comedians need to be.
Yes.
Like, that's Bill Burr. Perfect example. Great job. You make fun of both sides because guess what? The Trump supporters know how to laugh at Donald Trump. We've been doing it for how long? So, I mean, the beautiful thing was when you watch people like Stephen Colbert cry online, it speaks volumes as to who you are as a person. Like, I can't get over how irritated that made me.
And Jimmy Kimmel, too.
And Jimmy Kimmel's as well. Jimmy Kimmel, he's a
cock.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Jimmy. Well, obviously people do like Jimmy Kimmel.
People do like Jimmy Kimmel.
But it's a bubble.
Jimmy Kimmel used to be funny. That's the thing. Jimmy Kimmel used to kind of be funny, and I know that everybody, especially in the late night, gets a little less funny during an election cycle just because they have to cover some serious shit. But if we could take Greg Gutfeld and put him in the Tonight Show.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Greg Gutfeld is
phenomenal.
Crazy.
Give Tyrus his own fucking show. Like,
Please.
something.
Greg Gutfeld has balls of a bull, dude.
Dude, he doesn't. Did you watch the Gutfeld episode after he won? After Trump won?
I didn't.
Dude.
What was it like?
Oh, my God. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I can't quote anything off the top of my head because I was just exhausted from being up the night before. But, like...
It's been a crazy couple of days.
It was beautiful.
I will say that. And so
there's ugly women out there that are promising to leave us alone, Luke, I hear.
We're almost there, Shide. We have one more thing to talk about. We have one more thing to talk about before. We have one more thing to talk about before we punch down. Okay. Alan Lichtman, go fuck yourself. Alan, fuck your 10 keys. You don't know shit.
Honestly.
All week, my cousin was talking. I'll give her a shot. I'm not going to give her a shot. Me and my cousin, right, we're talking. And she goes, I'm kind of scared about this election. And I said, why? He's going to win. And she said, well, what about Alan Lichtman's 10 keys? And I said, fuck the 10 keys.
Yeah.
And look, here's Alan Lichtman, who incorrectly predicted the 2024 presidential election for Kamala Harris, said, oh, my 10 keys, everything holds. Kamala's going to win. And look, he's fucking wrong. So he actually posted a response video. He looks pretty disheveled.
Honestly, can we just talk about how old he is? That has to be a wig or hair plugs or something. There ain't no way.
And it may be a toupee, but listen to what he has to say.
Look, my prediction for this presidential election was wrong. I own up to it. Right now, I am taking time off today, Wednesday, through my live show Thursday. My aim is to assess why the keys were wrong and what we can learn from this era and what the election means for the future of our country going forward. The show will be at 9 p.m. Thursday, November 7th.
So right there, okay, we don't care about your show.
I'll tell you why the keys didn't work, Alan. It's because we've never once seen a Democratic Party that has pandered this hard to the point of making it almost kind of racist to different racial groups. We've never seen anybody pander this hard for women and to say, Luke,
I'm a woman.
Luke, I know that all the prices are high. I know that you're struggling through your own thing, but just think about the women in your life that can't kill babies. Isn't that important to you, Luke, when figuring out who to vote for?
I'm sorry, Shai, but in terms of me, and I know a lot of other people feel this too, you can't care about social issues if you're fucking hungry, right? Right? Exactly. If you can't get to work because the gas is priced too high. I'll tell you why Alan Lichtman was wrong. It's because he was politically biased. He was politically biased from the start.
1,000%.
He was telling us that Donald Trump would not win and his precious 10 keys would be correct.
Yeah.
A lot of arrogantness.
And I would love to know. I want to know the breakdown of his 10 keys and for him to say why he would lose and where he's going to lose. Because honestly, I don't know what his 10 keys exactly were, but I would have to say all 10 were fucking wrong.
They were all. I mean, he was talking about like not natural disasters, but like a big event happening could possibly change everything. And you would think Trump getting shot in the face would be a big event. Also, too, there's a coup. Do you remember Joe Biden?
I do.
Right.
I do.
He's still our president. So
he's
they pushed
so
him out.
happy. Like, let's talk.
He's very happy. He's very happy.
Did you see the press conference
Yes.
after?
Oh my gosh.
We didn't even add it to the
He's
slate.
pointing at people. I mean, there's too much shit to cover.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pointing at people. He's like, hey, he looks loose.
Right.
He looks amazing.
They finally took him off whatever fucking pills they were giving him.
Biden looks amazing.
Biden does look amazing.
But let's transition to...
Are we punching down, Luke?
All right, folks, we're going to punch down. So should I play this video for... Let's just give a brief description of what's been going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So Donald Trump winning the 2024 presidential election has made a lot of people happy, and it's also made a lot of people sad. And there is a far left sect of the Democratic Party, the Democratic voter bloc, where they have gone absolute batshit crazy. And so now you see women, because they think that abortion, their precious abortion's going to be taken, they think that because they're not going to be able to get an abortion, which is false. You're still going to be able to get abortions. All the states have voted on it, and if some states have voted against it, I believe you're still able to get it for the 3 exemptions: rape, incest, life of the mother. But there are some women who have started what's called the 4B movement.
And I will say this. I want to give a quick shout out to my cousin Rich, because he has called this. He said
Rich
that,
Farah.
Yes. He said that we were going to see a huge uptick in mental health problems in this country due to the Trump administration coming back in. And he called this 6 months ago.
Rich was right. So look at this, folks. We have this thing called the 4B movement. Now, what is the 4B movement? Well, they want a world without men. So the 4B movement is a protest against the patriarchy, which is fucking fake, where you abstain from sex with men as a woman, you abstain from childbirth, you abstain from marriage, you abstain from romance. If they want to take over your bodies, don't let them have it, is what somebody else said.
Yeah.
To that, I say, fine. Please do not procreate.
All of these
I don't
people-
want more of you.
All of these people think they're really doing something when, in ultra honesty, like we'd said, this crazy far left white liberal woman, no one wants to fuck you, bro. You are so annoying. You're so dumb. You need to take a step down. And honestly, please stop spreading your legs.
So here's
because guess what? Now, sweetheart, now you don't have to worry about abortions. So honestly, I think you should just go without sex the rest of your life, never procreate. Quite frankly, just stay locked up in your home. I don't know, maybe quit your job, go on government benefits, try fentanyl. I don't know what you need to do, but it's so wild.
You like immigration that much? Go be with an immigrant. Go
right.
be with a migrant.
Fucking go to Haiti.
Yeah, go to Haiti. Go to Haiti. We'll see how long you last.
You'll get split open from fucking hip to hip.
Well, yeah. So we're not advocating for violence.
No, but what I'm saying in Haiti, probably.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So women are talking about this, and here are a couple women on TikTok, for example, that are starting the movement. Here we go.
Not that my content reaches a lot of men because I have an IQ of 130, but I want the men in this country to know that half the female population, we're dry. We're probably going to stay dry.
Fine.
We're dry as a desert, baby. And I don't want it to change. Yeah, we're not going to like you anymore.
We never liked you.
That? Like, it doesn't matter if you take away abortion. Like, we'll
it's
want
not
to
being
have
taken
the
away.
babies even less, right?
Good.
Even if you take away contraception, like,
nobody's doing that.
women are really good at celibacy because you guys are actually a threat to us. So we have a lot less to gain from you.
Nobody wants to be with
yeah,
you.
4B all the way. Let's make some money.
4B.
Let's make some money. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so there's one. Here's another lady. So now here, hold on. Now here, so that was the 4B movement, right? That was the 4B movement.
Dude, nobody thinks this lady's gonna fuck a dude.
And now this may be a dude. This looks like a dude from a 70s rock band. So this is like what's the band? This is like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
This is like Steven Tyler
We're
watching Steven Tyler from Aerosmith right here. So folks, so that was the 4B movement, okay? Now, here's a different thing that is quite interesting, too. So we're just going to play this for you. So not only are leftist women, extreme leftist women, participating in this movement called the 4B movement, which, good for you, whatever. It's probably better that you don't procreate anyway. But now we need to really check on some of these women because they're going insane. So we're just going to play a couple videos for you, and then we'll talk about something else that they're doing after that. But this is not very good for this particular group of women. Here we go.
Hey, quick question. What the fuck? Hey, quick question. Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
No.
Is she gonna sing?
Hey, quick question.
That was it.
That's not a question.
That's it.
That's not really a question.
Why do you record yourself screaming and crying and posting it?
Why
Okay?
does the dude with the mullet care so much? What is that?
Oh, look at this.
the ring!
It's always the fucking septum piercing. Why? Why does the septum piercing universally mean unhappy, childless, cat lady, Democrat woman? Look at this. Another one where she's screaming, crying about Trump winning, thinking that he's going to take away abortion. And he has explicitly said he's not doing it. But we have a screamer, folks.
I'm so glad you guys got your cheap ass groceries and your cheap ass fucking gas, cause you're fucking broke as shit. You're fucking broke. You're fucking broke. Broke. I said I'm fucking being serious. You're fucking broke.
That was great.
That was lovely.
That was great. Thank you.
So we have more. This is the last one we'll play. This one is particularly delusional because this woman thinks that her legal immigrant mother is going to be taken by Trump. Here we go.
My immigrant mother just called me on the phone innocently asking me if she should start carrying her passport.
Like what?
In case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen. That's so sad.
These people are so dumb.
Cry harder.
These people are so
Cry
dumb.
harder. This
Like, what do
is
you mean?
why. Right here.
Just keep watching these. Like,
no, hold on. I just want to summarize.
Yeah,
what we did,
yeah.
And then we'll talk about the really mentally ill thing that some of these women are doing. But really, you think he's gonna take your mother, who is a legal immigrant?
Right.
You don't think that they
show
have
your driver's
a vetting
license,
process?
you fucking idiot.
You don't think? Which, by the way, you need your ID to vote.
Exactly.
You should have your ID to vote.
Exactly.
And her immigrant mother could carry around an ID or a passport.
Right.
That's a whole nother
An
thing.
identification
An
card.
identification would help great. But it's just so funny because nothing is going to change. Dear liberal white women, I know none of you watch this podcast. One actually singled me out, by the way, and I just want to call out this bitch.
Ooh.
I don't want to say her name. I only knew her
Can you
once.
say it so we can cut it? Would I know her?
I won't cut it. If I say it, I'm just going to say, no, you don't know who she is.
Okay.
She's from Pennsylvania, I think, but I got to know her in college. She was actually one of the podcast girls that was on the original logo of the podcast with the eye
Really?
blacked out. Yeah.
Ooh.
The one all the way to the left.
Okay.
But anyway, right, I posted a thing because you knew Trump was going to win the night before. I posted a meme from Twitter on my Snapchat, right? It said, leave out the Diet Coke and McDonald's because Donald Trump is coming tonight. This bitch slides up on my story. Mind you, conservatives don't do this shit. We don't slide up on liberal story because we want to be civil. This bitch slides up immediately. She goes, 0 bitches. What? I'm fucking engaged. I'm literally engaged. She goes, 0 bitches. You're a failed podcaster. I'm like, first off, why are we calling women bitches?
Right.
You're supposed to be a feminist.
Right. I didn't
She
know you were.
unadds me.
Yeah.
She unadds me. So
Good.
fuck her.
Good.
Listen, and so these women are mentally ill. I know
She
it's-
said 0 bitches,
Zero-
and you're
I'm
literally
engaged. 0 bitches. But whatever, these women are not healthy.
Oh.
These women are not happy.
Yeah, yeah, I
Kamala
will-
winning was not going to help you. Abortion is not going to be taken away.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the
On that-
mental illness
I
of
mean,
these women.
Genuinely on that topic, like men out there, if you have a woman who did vote for Trump, don't lose her. Don't let her go. Do whatever you could do to keep her.
I'm not losing mine. I'm
Because-
locking her in the basement.
Because
Maybe not
they're
that.
they're like I don't know. Like these crazy far left women, and I'm not even talking about the ones because I've had genuine conversations with people who did vote for Kamala Harris.
I get it though.
That, like,
I get it.
I get it. But
It makes sense.
The crazy mentally ill leftist, like those women, like no one wants to fuck you. You have a huge bush. You have armpit hair. It shows that the only people that want to fuck you are also liberal cuck men
Or women.
Or women.
Or women.
Right. So I have yet to see a genuinely attractive leftist woman who's like, I'm not having sex anymore. And it's like, please stop having sex. Please stop going out to bars. Please stop berating with these stupid narratives that Donald Trump is Hitler. Please stop. You sound more unintelligent than my son, who doesn't even speak a real word yet. Like, you're so stupid. And genuinely, that's the only thing that pisses me off is I can have a conversation if you want to compare Trump's policies, his genuine policies, if you want to compare Trump's economy. But if all you're going to say is Trump is going to ban abortions, all I have to show you is the tweet that I read out 20 minutes ago. In that argument is done. That argument is done. That's finished. Just like if I was to say that Kamala Harris is a fucking drunk soccer mom.
Which she is!
Right, but whoa. If I was to say Kamala Harris is a drunk soccer mom and Kamala Harris goes, no, I don't drink alcohol. Okay, perfect. Both things have been addressed, and you can't, unless you go and find where Trump is secretly talking to Melania about, I can't wait to ban abortions, I can't wait to get rid of all of them.
That's actually not a bad impression.
All these stupid fuck. It wasn't bad.
Wow, that's not
it wasn't bad.
I do a good RFK.
Do you? Let me hear it.
My father, when my father was in the Senate or running for Senate, we had such a good America. It was a coalition of
it sounds like it
people,
hurts.
white people. When my uncle was killed by the CIA, it was a tragic day for our family.
Yeah,
I tell you what, Bobby. Bobby, he's a great guy. I can't wait to have him in office. He's gonna get to the bottom of everything.
Donald, we have to end the wars.
Don't worry, Bobby. They're already done. They're already done. I told him. I looked at Putin. I said, "Don't move another fucking finger." I said, I took a sip of Diet Coke and I said, Donald, or I said, Vlad. It's gotta end. It's gotta end. And Vlad said, "You know what, Donald? You're right. You're right, Donald. It has to end.
We have to end the war in Ukraine. We have to stop Big Pharma."
Can we do this? Could that be that actually was pretty fucking good. Yeah. But anyway, the mental illness. We're having so much fun.
So good.
Can you tell our candidate won? Can you tell Can you tell America's
Zelensky,
back, bitch?
Zelensky, you're cut off. It's done. It's done.
No more money for you, bitch.
Dude, and he congratulated him on Twitter, and I was just like, he's got those tears welled up in his eyes. He's like looking out his fucking window at his boat, just going, it's gotta go.
Donbass is gone. You're not getting that back. You're not getting any of this piece of land back. Anyway, so you
back to
about,
white women.
We're punching down. You want to talk about the ultra progressive leftist extreme mentally ill white women. Not only have they started the 4B movement, which do it, whatever. Not only are they freaking out, screaming, crying in front of a camera and then posting it, and then chopping it up in CapCut and posting it, whatever. That's fine too. I support that. And I also support this too. So these liberal, extreme, progressive white women who voted for Kamala, these mentally ill women, are shaving their heads because Trump won. They are literally shaving their heads. Shaving their heads. Look at this, man. Look at this. So we're going to have to cut the audio, which is fine. But look at this.
Like, what is that doing for you?
This woman is shaving her head because Trump won. What are you doing? If there was anything else, we would say you were mentally ill and you need help.
Like, what do we do with Britney Spears shaving her head?
Help. They cut off her money. That's what they did.
Exactly.
Look at this. It's always the septum piercing. Okay, so maybe you thought, one, that's a little sketch. Here's another one. This woman is maybe 60. It says right here, when the only thing to control is ourselves that we have left. What are you doing?
Look, the one cutting the hair has a septum piercing.
I know.
Too,
it's always a septum piercing. We will continue to fight and stand with every woman and minority. This woman is literally getting her head buzzed. We will not bow down. We will not give up. Give up what? Abortion is still legal. Do you not get that real quick? Real quick, we're gonna
I'll tell you what, Bobby. I'll tell you what. These women don't have to worry about a thing because now they have more hair on their pussies than they do their head, and no man wants to do that. No man wants that.
Donald, I just don't understand. We're going to make it a more healthy America for them. We're going to ban all these pharmaceuticals and these dyes in the food. They're going to be able to appropriate more. We're going to be able to end the foreign wars. You know, when my uncle was the president of the United States, we had such a better America. We weren't divided like we are now. Donald, we're going to make America healthy again.
Anyway, so legit, right? Why are you doing this? In the woman shaving the head, once again, it's always a septum piercing.
Yeah, it's always a septum
But legit,
piercing.
when Britney Spears shaved her head, everybody said, you are not healthy. Something is wrong. They literally took away her ability to earn her money on her own. Put her in a conservatorship. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're making this
bro. And like I saw a video of this girl who like was talking about. I saw a video of this girl who was talking about this, and it's like, she was an obvious Trump supporter because of the way she was speaking. But she's like, honey, like, what are you doing?
Look at this, dude. This woman is grown.
You shaving your head's not going to do anything. And now you're bald.
Look at this.
And now you're bald, and you don't look good. Your ears look huge, Dumbo. Fucking like, what are you doing?
How she doesn't even look happy. That makes sense. I get it. We have
Bobby.
I get it now.
Bobby, why do they care? They're lesbians. Why does abortion matter so much? All they do is rub clits together. I don't understand. Donald, when fluoride wasn't in the water, we didn't have lesbians. When my uncle was the president, we didn't have lesbians because the fluoride wasn't in the water.
Free speech is back, bitch! Free speech is back. Yes. Yes.
When we didn't
yes.
fluoride in the water.
Free speech is back. Please donate money to us. I don't want to do this part-time anymore. I mean, I'll do it part-time, but this is like the greatest joy. It's a comedy podcast. The election's over. The election's over, and it's time for impressions.
Oh, that was so funny. Dude, I got to get that. Oh, my God.
That was great. That was a joy. That was a joy to do. That was a joy to do. Well, not yet. Let's riff a little bit just to make sure that... No, it's okay. But like, oh, gosh. These women are crazy. These women are legit crazy. I just don't understand. I hope you have help.
My God.
It's a shame we don't have the mental institutions anymore because we could use a lot of them right now.
Yeah.
A lot of women in particular. Some men too, which I find this really interesting. Let's talk about LeBron James.
That was rough. I mean,
can we talk about that real quick?
We've talked about we've talked about it till we were blue in the face before the election even happened. Like, the issue is that we see all these males endorsing Kamala Harris, and the only thing that they have to run off of is the fact that they care about their daughters or their wives or whatever. So if we have already debunked, like, if I'm running the Kamala Harris campaign, if we have already debunked the fact that Donald Trump is not going to nationally ban an abortion, why are we having every celebrity endorsement talk about the fact that we are going to nationally ban an abortion? That's just like when Barack Obama went up at that last campaign rally and brought up the fine people on both sides hoax.
Which was,
like,
if you play the whole thing,
we're talking about things that have already been debunked.
You got to play the whole thing.
Exactly. So we're talking about things that have already been debunked. So what is the point of bringing them back up? You're not winning over any new voters by just... Again, I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. If we've already said Donald Trump is not going to nationally ban an abortion, if people have heard that and they've said, okay, Donald Trump is not going to nationally ban an abortion, all they're going to do is look at...
Is that a Bernie Sanders impression?
It wasn't. All they're going to do is look at the left and see how they constantly keep talking about this national abortion ban, and that's the only thing that they care to talk about. Or, and that one of two things. It's Donald Trump's poor character, which, I'm sorry... He's one of the most funny motherfuckers I've ever... Like,
he's been on like 10 podcasts, and you've been able to see who he is. They don't edit it. It's not scripted.
And that's like
that's the thing.
Him and JD. And JD. Those are real Americans, real guys. If you look at Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you get to pick apart everything that they're saying.
Tim Walz isn't a real guy. He's definitely a real gay, though.
Dude, they pandering. Oh, AOC knows how to run a mean pick six. If you've even played a lick of Madden or watched one play of football, you know that you don't run a pick six. What are you talking about?
They did that scripted Madden game together, and Tim Walz claims he was a football coach, a high school football coach.
He claimed he was the head coach.
The end of the game. The score was 0-0. Whatever. I almost said a slur. That's crazy.
It was bad. It was
freedom
bad.
of speech. Hopefully you get to say that word again on YouTube. If you ever were allowed to. I'm not advocating for that. But it is a word that's hate speech. But it is a word. It is a word that I sometimes say. I don't say the big slur though. I can't do that. Anyway, so we're talking about liberal white women having a meltdown, and these are mostly liberal white women on The View, although we have a couple, Sonny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, whatever. It's not about race. But the point is, the host of The View...
they make it about race.
The host of The View have been imploding for the past couple days.
It has been phenomenal. It has been phenomenal.
Do you want to watch these clips and then talk about them?
Absolutely.
So, okay, these are the hosts of The View having a meltdown because Donald Trump won, and they don't know what to do.
Was red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power.
Can we talk about 2016 for a second? Like, bro, genuinely, 2016 is the last good summer I had. The music, fire. The Cavs, NBA champs.
To be fair, Shide, Obama was still the president then.
Well, okay, yeah, your
But-
facts. Well,
but
I mean, with the okay, yeah.
Let's
fuck.
pretend. Let's pretend. Let's pretend he wasn't. Let's pretend he wasn't.
Even through the entire administration, music, fire, Cavs didn't win another championship. Not great for Cleveland sports. But all I'm saying is like 2016. I guess that was summer 2016, so it was Obama. I'm really not making a great case here, but I was also 15. I'm pretty sure
that presidency, Trump's first term, was so fun. Just. You went to school and you were on the way to school. You got to school at like 7:30 and you were your friends sitting around and you're on Twitter waiting for school to start.
Right,
you're
just
in class
looking
and you're like, you go to your friends, holy shit, the president just tweeted this.
Right.
And he's calling Kim Jong-un. He's making fun of the greatest dictator in the world at the time, the most powerful dictator, just obliterating him, insulting him. Ended up going to North Korea and making peace with him.
Right.
Do you remember back then? The two problems, ISIS and North Korea. Boom. He squashed them both.
Done.
He squashed them both. So the fact that they want to do this is fine. But let's continue on this. I want to continue watching this.
Really, I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class.
Do you?
I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have.
Okay, hold on. Pause this real quick. How are you going to advocate for your daughter to abort your future grandchildren? Like, there were men and women that were saying my daughter doesn't have rights anymore. And if you view killing your potential grandchildren as a right, God bless you. God bless you. Because like we have outlined on this show previously, and even today, Donald Trump has said multiple times, J.D. Vance has said multiple times, we're not going to take away abortion for rape, incest, and life of the mother. We're not going to do it. And he didn't even say they want to ban abortion outright. He literally said we just want to leave it up to the states because this was never something that people voted on. This was just imposed on people in whatever year. I think it was 1972, 1973, when Roe v. Wade happened. They don't want it to be federal. They literally said this was unconstitutional. And if you even look back, go ask AI, what was Ruth Bader Ginsburg's stance on abortion and Roe v. Wade? She said it should go to the states.
Yeah.
And I did not believe Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and this is true. You can find her talk about saying
Nobody
it
will
should
say
go
that, though.
to the states.
Yeah.
It should go to the states. And people have the right to vote on it. People were voting for Donald Trump in the 2024 election, while they also voted to keep a woman's right to choose.
Right.
And so I don't know what they're talking about. There's not going to be a national abortion ban. Anyway, continuing on. I'm sorry. Did you have anything to say about that?
No, let's just play it. I can't wait to hear her stop talking.
We'll play it.
I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that.
You're not getting pregnant.
So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country. Because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons. And so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about
internment camps.
Warning Americans
internment camps.
Okay.
They think we're just going to gather them all up.
That's bullshit, first of all. J.D. Vance has said multiple times, and other people have said this too, they're not going to round them up in internment camps. They're going to take them home. I do not know of a more civil thing to do if you are trying to get rid of illegal immigrants than give them a free ride
back home,
back to where they're from.
Right.
That's the plan.
Right. Do you know how much an out-of-country plane ride costs for American citizens?
A lot.
A lot of money. Round trip?
It'll probably put the government in a little bit more debt short term, but like they're hurting this country.
Right.
And not only that, but these big corporations are taking advantage of them, and it's actually inhumane, to be honest with you. They're taking advantage of them, and they're paying them these cheap wages.
Yeah.
Cheap wages. It's not humane to be able to do this. They're abusing
and then they're
going to
come here. They're coming here and struggling. So
that's
honestly,
why you see all these big corporations endorsing Kamala, by the way, donating to Kamala Harris.
Right, because they have cheap labor. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And Sunny Hostin's a moron anyways, because she's been on this. Like, to even say that she's worried about mass deportations. Why? Why?
Yeah.
You're so worried about that felon box.
I know.
But we're not worried about people that are literally coming here. Illegal is in the term used to describe them. Illegal immigrants. They are not here legally. Just like that dumb broad from a couple fucking videos back who's worried about her legal mother. Like, they're not just going to drive by in a fucking Ford Caravan and throw them in. Like, are you fucking idiot? Like,
and if they did, what's the problem? I'm just kidding.
Like, if anything, why don't we open our eyes to the 300,000 missing children that have gone missing after crossing the border under Borders Czar Kamala Harris?
They're
like,
not gonna talk
you
about
people
that,
are
though.
all fucking. You want to talk about being a bigot? Like, these people are all fucking stupid.
Human trafficking. They don't want to talk about that.
No,
they don't want to talk about the real
it.
issues. I was listening to a podcast with Theo Vaughn. They're talking about, our rights and stuff, our civil liberties, we're going to live under a fascist. Bro, do you know what fascism is? Do you know how many slaves right now are in the world?
Right.
More so than when slavery was legal in the United States. So I don't
Right.
want to hear you talk about all these issues that you think are issues. No, you don't talk about the real issues. Donald Trump was not a fascist in 2016 to 2020, and he's not going to be a fascist now. Anyway.
Like, people throw the word dictator around. People that I know, I've heard it. I've heard words out of their mouth go, he is Hitler.
And they say
I'm not even saying I've seen it online. I've heard it in person.
I know.
He is Hitler. And can we stop with, number one, if we're going to talk about doing lawsuits and shit, we should be suing CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all of those for defamation. Are you fucking kidding me? We're talking about the man who murdered 9 million people. Are we, like, what are we talking about, bro?
Allegedly. I'm sorry. No, he did. No, he did. He did.
But all I'm saying is, it's like, we're gonna really fucking come here and say that Donald Trump is equal to Hitler.
It just makes me mad. And then they go on saying he hates women, he's sexist. But nobody talks about this. The Republicans always do it first. He appointed the first female chief of staff
also
a couple of days ago, and nobody batted it. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck.
And also, there's not a single. No one loves women more than Donald J. Trump.
My gosh, he's got 3. Married to 3 women.
Right.
I mean, God bless him.
Right. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let's listen to the rest of this stupid shit that she's spewing out of her stupid mouth.
But this is fun. This is a fun episode.
Oh, it's the best episode. I don't even know why I'm getting upset. Like, she's a moron.
All right, we're gonna continue on with this. Let's see.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised as a woman of color.
Oh, that's right. Pause this real quick.
I was so hopeful.
Ladies and gentlemen
that
who are
a mixed
watching,
race woman
buckle up. Buckle up, because the rest of this clip is wild.
Listen to this.
Is wild.
She goes crazy.
Married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
Cultural resentment.
We literally elected a black man to
Did we forget about that?
presidential
Did we
terms.
forget about the back-to-back fucking presidential terms of Barack Obama?
He won the popular vote twice.
Exactly. Like, can we stop pretending like America as a whole is racist?
Oh, I'm fucking fired up.
These stupid bitches on The View, all you're doing by spewing that rhetoric is building the divide between the left and the right. We will never. It will take I don't know, decades for us to actually like. That's where I could say that like most. I don't even know because I wasn't huge into politics then. But under Barack Obama, like I feel like I saw some people that were Republicans vote for Barack.
I could tell you, Fox News started the whole thing, but then the reaction was worse. Anyway, let's play this. We can explain that.
I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately.
I'd love to be in that room.
I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that to me brought me a consolation and inspiration this morning because...
Real quick, JFK wouldn't have liked you. No. Anyway, let's continue.
I have no regrets. Yep. I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman
I worked
president.
harder to get Trump elected.
History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country. And I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today.
What if she ended that with, "And we're going to make America great again," and everybody starts to cheer? No, but it's
fucking Whoopi Goldberg whips her titties out. She's got MAGA written across her chest.
Donald, you know what? Come out
out here, Donald. Let's go. Whoopi, you got mighty fine breasts, Whoopi. They're phenomenal. They're great. Some would say a little saggy, but honestly, they're not bad. They're not bad.
And then RFK comes.
Actually, my uncle, believe it or not, we have him frozen under the studio, and we brought him out tonight. My uncle's been alive this whole time.
Everybody goes, "Yeah!"
And he goes, "On, I heard you were talking about my uncle. Here he is.
My uncle, John F. Kennedy, is going to be the director of the CIA.
Yeah!
That's
and we're going to make America great again."
Whoopi's still fucking flipping her titties around.
Joy Behar's doing somersaults and cartwheels.
My God.
Anyway, that'd be great. But what have we become?
Dude, I don't even know. We've just become happy. This is joy, Kamala. This is joy.
Freedom of speech.
But like to punch down on the fact that she's making promises to the LGBT and to all these, like, to women and all that. Like, it's so ridiculous because we're pandering. It's like, okay, if you're a member of the LGBT, let's put a couple things into perspective here. All Republicans want to do is to have you stop pushing agendas onto children.
Literally.
No sex changes for anybody younger than 18 years old because you can't get a tattoo, you can't drink a beer, you can't I mean you can't buy nicotine. Like there's so many laws into place, so why the fuck can you chop your cock off at 14, 15, 16? Like,
or chopping the breasts off. I just don't understand.
Like, I don't get that. And then squashes that. No one's coming after gay marriage. I know that I don't even know if it passed, but they proposed a bill in Tennessee to where you have the right to basically not verify a gay marriage if it's against your religious beliefs. All that is you have to find someone else to perform your fucking wedding ceremony, you morons.
I don't think that's hard. Also,
like, that's all that is.
The states voted on this too, which is important to note. States individually voted on this. This was something that happened over time, and I think if this came down to a vote again, the majority of people would vote in favor of gay marriage. Like,
right.
I'm not somebody that's an LGBTQ activist.
No.
But again, you want people to have their freedom. And I think that if it comes down to getting married in a courthouse, you shouldn't force different religions to do this. But if it's recognized by the state, I feel like it would pass overwhelmingly.
Right. And the funniest part about it is, like, I didn't even see, like, the compilation video that I'm going to talk about, but I just remember it vividly from watching the presidential campaign of Barack Obama and Joe Biden, listening to Hillary Clinton talk back when Hillary was Hillary, not this newfound Democratic version of Hillary.
She's something else.
But all three of them, Hillary, Joe, and Barack, all said that they think that marriage is a sacred vow between man and woman. And then you have Trump sitting in Trump Towers, literally friends with Caitlyn Jenner, you fucking dumbasses.
Yeah.
Like, the first one to ever spark anything in Caitlyn Jenner's a fucking like she is a Trump supporter. So you're retards.
You say she's a man, but you call her she.
No, I didn't mean to say man. I meant to say MAGA. I went to say MAGA.
Cancel.
Maybe. But and then on top of all that, you have the left you had Trump sitting in Trump Tower going, I'm all for gays. I don't really care, just as long as you're not sucking my dick, basically. Like, that's all he got.
Way before them.
Right, way before them. Way before he was even thinking about running for president. Like, it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. And it's all the media. That's what it is. Like, the media are just taking everything and running with it and hoping that you don't fact check it.
You want to know what else is insane, though? We have more clips of The View.
I forgot we were even talking about these dumb broads.
Listen, it gets worse.
Yeah.
So The View ladies said that Hispanics in Texas voted for Trump because the Hispanics are sexist.
Yeah.
Take a look at this clip.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock,
misogyny,
knock.
sexism.
Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
So, okay, there's one. And once again, these ladies on The View are continuing with bad takes. So here's another one, right? This one's Sunny Hostin talking, and one of the other ladies on The View just clearly has had enough of Sunny Hostin. Here we go.
And finally, we talk a lot about
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Whoops. Well, the point is, like, they're just crazy. These women are crazy. And not just women. I know there's men, and I hate to harp on it. But the delusion, the Trump derangement syndrome is out of control. It is just so crazy what these people have allowed to consume their minds.
Right.
They let politics run their entire life. It runs like 90% of mine, but not my whole life.
No, I still keep a little bit for my family and
yes,
whatnot.
of course.
But like, I definitely pay attention to it a lot more than I should. Which is, I mean, I don't know, like, why is the media pushing for this huge divide? Like, why?
Well, if you want to talk about the origins, I know I talked about it a little bit in that last clip. It all started with Fox, and as somebody that was watching Fox News when I was like 7,
perfect,
I can assure you that this is what was happening, right? So you had people. I don't want to call them my heroes, but they're kind of my heroes. Like Bill O'Reilly, for example, right?
Yeah.
The O'Reilly factor. Obama had no scandals while he was in office, so they would nitpick. I remember there was one time when Obama wore a tan suit, and Bill O'Reilly, it was either O'Reilly or Sean Hannity. I believe it was O'Reilly, though. O'Reilly made it this big controversy. Like, he's not serious. This is a shame to the office. Like, done stuff.
Yeah.
But Fox and Friends was always on every Sunday morning. My dad would be making pancakes before we went to church. Like, good memories, core memories,
what a
right?
Sunday.
And it was sunshine in the summer. So I'm always going to look at Fox News with just such admiration. I'm always going to love Fox News.
But
like,
also for
the
Fox
rhetoric, though.
For Fox to start it with that Obama is not taking it seriously, I could see that, but that's probably all Fox had to cling on to. You know what I mean?
But they also talked about him allegedly not being a citizen.
That was a big one.
I remember
yeah.
that was a big thing, which was proven false. And so it was no longer news, right? It was entertainment news. They would make it kind of like an opinion piece. And so left-wing media, they couldn't really...
They took it and ran with it.
Well, they couldn't compete. And so they did that, and then they did it times 100.
Right.
Because now Donald Trump is in office, and so Fox,
right.
while they're still entertainment news to an extent, they're also providing factual news a little bit at a time, too. But you see, they still have cracks.
Isn't it funny, though? Like, because you're like, yeah, like, Fox started with, like, oh, Obama's not a U.S. citizen, or, oh, Obama is wearing a tan suit, he doesn't care. And then we're like, the left media, and we're like, oh, Trump's Hitler. Like, what? Like, that's just, you talk about, like, just how
this
crazy
this
different
rhetoric,
it is.
It never used to be around when we were little, when we were kids. I just don't remember that. We used to watch the local news and then the world news. But to segue off, right? Here's somebody that I think on the left who may have Trump derangement syndrome, but I think he is still very rational. We're talking about Bill Maher, right?
He showed his colors a little bit in the rationale department these past couple weeks, honestly. I mean, especially with that Liz Cheney comment that we'd covered last week. He, kind of was just sick of the left media. Like, listen, I'm voting for Kamala Harris, but you don't have to lie to me.
And this is him critiquing all the people on the left, saying, like, we don't understand why Kamala lost. So this is Bill Maher telling Democrats, even Democrats on his show on this particular episode, why Kamala Harris lost. In 1 second, we're going to get the audio for you in 3, 2, 1. All right, so once again, this is Bill Maher on his show explaining why Kamala Harris lost.
What I hear from the usual suspects, I'll call them on the left in the media, is just, again, not looking in the mirror.
They didn't call him Hitler loudly enough.
Or that just a lot of people texted me things like, well, you can't fix stupid. Sorry, that doesn't work with me. Yeah, you're stupid because you're not thinking about the bigger picture. You're not thinking about maybe we did something wrong. Maybe we're not perfect. It's like a relationship. You got dumped. America dumped you, and they're all like, you don't know what you had. Yes, they do.
That's a perfect
They know what they had, and what they're saying is, we know what we had, and you're a mess.
That's true. A perfect analogy. That was
true.
Great. Yeah.
And so he hammered this down even in his opening monologue. We're not going to play the whole thing, but like you want to compare this, right, to other people on the left. Like this thing says right here, this tweet. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert were crying because Kamala lost.
Right.
Bill Maher is he's still on the left. He's voted for Kamala. He's publicly acknowledged it. But you can see like he's owning up to it and he's telling people why it happened.
You know what? We're going to hear about both tonight on the panel and throughout the whole show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers, look in the mirror. No?
Rational.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, that's my field. Losers look in the mirror, okay? And
that's
a good message.
Right, and I'm glad he's getting like that little bit of cheer now. Nobody knows where he's
months,
going.
Democrats have been saying, how is this even close? And they're right. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Like I said, we're not going to play the whole thing, but I want like a minute or two.
Yeah.
They could not conceive of a second Trump term, but they should have. When does America ever turn down second? I mean, come on.
He's being funny.
Yeah.
Colbert.
Look, this is just the facts.
We're not funny.
It's just the facts. Trump won all the swing states, all 7. I mean, he ran the table. Trump won so big. Today he called the Secretary of State in Georgia, and he asked him to lose him 11,000.
Thank you, Bill Maher.
Thank you, Bill Maher.
Thank you, Bill Maher.
Thank you, Bill Maher, for being funny.
Right, and like what I was gonna say was, when you look at the left media, like Kimmel or Colbert, that talk showness side of it, like it's just so funny to watch them throw the blame around. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like that's a perfect analogy for Tim Walz is when you're playing football and you miss a block and you blame it on somebody else. And it's like, bro, I was on the other side of the field. Like, what do you mean?
That's factual. And these people on the left, there's a couple that I do respect, like a Bill Maher or like Jon Stewart. We'll talk about him in a second, too. But the people like Colbert and the people like Kimmel are like crying, so, oh, this is a bad day for democracy.
Right, it's a bad day for Trump supporters. You just don't know it yet.
He even said free speech. It's a bad day for free speech, as if Kamala Harris said she didn't want to ban X. You know what I mean?
Dude, I had so many, when you're going through your Instagram stories and whatnot, and all the liberal women are mixed in with all my Republican beautiful women out there, you're skipping through and you're like, oh, Republican woman, thank you for sharing, all this stuff, all my Republican friends, whatever, thanks for sharing this.
I'm sure there's beautiful liberal women, but I haven't found any.
No. And then you get to, again, those beautiful liberal women. One of them posted, something along the lines of like, today we grieve.
Oh boy.
And then we grieve for the LGBTQ community.
Dear
Why?
Lord.
We grieve for women. And this was the one that got me, was we grieve for the media. And I'm like,
oh, what? The media.
What?
The propaganda machine.
And it might not even have said media. I think it was like talking about it was reporters.
Are you fibbing?
Or something? No, it was definitely along the lines of that, where it was like, what do you mean? Like you're blaming the ones who have been spewing this nonsense for the past year.
We grieve for the media.
Yes, we grieve for the media, and I'm like, why? How are we grieving for the media? The ones that have posted or have pushed for this freedom of speech.
Oh, that's infuriating.
And I don't know. You can say it a million fucking times over again, and it's like the freedom of speech aspect of it is unfortunately. Yeah, the left does want to do something with freedom of speech. Now, I'm not going to be a full-blown right-wing, propagandist and say that they're just going to uproot free speech, but ultimately, it's a proper way to do it. So you want to talk about them getting into office, them passing something where, okay, yeah, Roe v. Wade is back up and running and all women can have abortions. Congratulations. But guess what? They also passed a bill to say that hate speech and misinformation is no longer protected. But guess what? We the people don't get to decide what is hate speech or what is misinformation. That's all up to those crazy left fucking dumbasses cutting their hair off. Like that's the crazy part about it.
I think they're all intelligent though. I know it is the crazy part. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry if I did cut you off.
No, I was done.
But it's an interesting rant. It's a very true rant. And so I just don't think that we should grieve for the media because these people are the literal Satan of our generation. They're lying to us and they're not telling us the truth when it comes to a lot of things. Anyway, so you want to talk about people that I respect on the left that are telling the truth after Donald Trump lost. Another one, Jon Stewart. So I don't agree with everything he says, but I think he's funny at times, and I respect his opinions. And so, I mean, this is what he said after Trump won.
We were prepared for all scenarios, and each one of those scenarios, it was, how is Donald Trump going to finagle his way back into the way? How is he going to use undemocratic principles? What measure of intimidation and underhanded shenaniganery will this man use to worm his way back into the Oval Office? And it turned out he used our electoral system as it is designed. And in that moment, I thought, well, fuck. I'm not sure we have a team of lawyers for that. I don't know if we have a team of canvassers for that. Which, by the way, I don't ever in my life want to hear about. Our vaunted ground game will put us over the top. It's a 50-50 toss-up race. We're sure of it. But the vaunted ground game, it turns out that people knocking on other people's doors doesn't get them to do what you want them to do. As I believe vacuum and Bible salesmen probably have known for many, many centuries.
But like, okay, so
it is true.
He's a person on the left that I particularly do respect, but I mean, he's not saying it's because all the voters are sexist.
No.
It's not because the voters are racist. It's not because Trump's a fascist and he registered with all these people and these young people are fat. No, he's saying like we lost.
He's saying look inward instead of
exactly what Bill Maher is saying.
Exactly,
look in the mirror.
Exactly. Instead of blaming your cornerback for a block that you missed on the offense or on the defensive line. Instead of blaming the other person on the other side of the field, instead of blaming the other person, let's say in real terms, the other politician and his voters and followers, blame ourselves. Look in the mirror. What did we do wrong? Who did we pander to wrong? Listen to the Luke Pipala show. They've been talking about everything we've been doing wrong this whole fucking time.
I mean, we've been doing a very good job, and I want to transition to. I wanted to talk about something we might not talk about that. But this is very important because it just capitalizes on the outrage that Donald Trump won. Okay, and this is really sad. So there's right here, this is an article from the Daily Mail. It says Minnesota dad kills his wife, ex, and 2 children as his chilling social media posts are revealed. Why did he kill them? It's because Donald Trump won. A man has killed his wife, ex-partner, and 2 sons in a devastating murder-suicide which has shattered a tight-knit community. Anthony Nephew, 46, was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside his home on West 6th Street in Duluth, Minnesota on Thursday afternoon. 3 years before his death, he spoke candidly about mental health crisis in the United States, warning breakdowns lead to suicide or homicide before suicide. His wife, 45-year-old Catherine Ramsland, and 7-year-old son Oliver were found dead with gunshot wounds inside the home they shared with nephew. Earlier, police made a grim discovery inside the home of nephew's ex, Aaron Abramson, less than 1 mile away. You see the pictures right here. And so on Twitter, people were saying this guy killed everybody and himself because of Donald Trump's win. Responding to a welfare call about 2 p.m., police found 47-year-old Abramson and her 15-year-old son, Jacob, nephew, dead with multiple gunshot wounds. This is tragic. The blended family had appeared close. Catherine, who went by Kat, was often sharing public messages on Facebook about Aaron. She described Aaron as her son's brother's mom, and said that she was the best baker, sharing snaps of Aaron's baked goods and videos of little Oliver asking for them. He was such a sweet little boy, one neighbor said, describing Oliver. Catherine always gushed about nephew, describing him as elite when wishing him a happy Father's Day recently. The pair celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary last month. Nephew, meanwhile, appears to have descended into somewhat of a conspiracy theorist in recent months, discussing aliens and harnessing the power of the center of the galaxy in bizarre social media rants. Life is just a fantasy of your own construction from the lattice, wow, of your own experimental reality, he just said last month.
Dude.
We go on. Right here, okay. He also appeared increasingly concerned about the prospect of a Trump-led government. My mental health and world can no longer peacefully coexist, and a lot of the reason is religion, he said in July. I am terrified of religious zealots inflicting their misguided beliefs on me and my family. I have intrusive thoughts of being burned at the stake as a witch. What? Or crucified on a burning cross. What? Having people actually believe that I or my child are Satan or the Antichrist or whatever their favorite color of boogeyman they are afraid of this week.
Someone should have done a welfare call on this dude a long time ago.
This is crazy, too, though. He also accused Republicans of making it harder for women to leave domestic violence relationships, writing, Gilead, here we come. Gilead is an apparent reference to The Handmaid's Tale, a dystopian republic which overthrew the United States and stripped away women's rights. I mean, we look here, right? He'd also spoken about candidly his mental health for years, describing himself in 2022 as a suicide survivor and penning a column in the Duluth News Tribune about the importance of mental illness healthcare. Mental health in this country is stigmatized, ignored, or treated as a burden. For the individual to bear alone with little help and less understanding, he wrote. Americans deny they have mental health struggles because they have to, because they're told to, or because they don't realize their mind is broken. Finally, the synapses overload and they suffer a breakdown. For most of us, that's best end result. For millions of Americans, a breakdown leads to suicide or homicide before suicide. The Duluth Police Department said in a statement, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and families and loved ones in the tragic event. Okay, first of all, no matter what, we'll just put this out there real quick. Nothing is worth taking your life. We'll just say that real quick. And nothing is worth killing your entire family. Okay, we'll just put that out there. Now, holy fuck.
Sounds like these kids.
Holy fuck.
It sounds like these kids would have honestly been better off if their dad just off himself and
holy
not them.
Fuck.
Like,
so not only did he kill his ex-wife, he killed his new wife, his 2 kids, and himself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all because of the fear of a Trump presidency. I've also seen people too, bro. People have killed themselves.
Yeah.
The suicide hotline was overrun with calls because of a Donald Trump presidency. Who has been feeding you this information? He's just a presidential candidate, and he didn't do that. It's not like we don't have a complete other term. Like, he literally was already president, and none of this stuff happened. Nothing is worth taking your own life, and nothing is worth killing other people. I'm sorry.
Also, again, I'm sorry. What have you heard through the media that you think genuinely, as a straight white man, because he was,
yes,
you would need to kill yourself and your entire family? Because what have you been told that is going to be so bad that Donald Trump is just going to uproot your entire life and you need to get out? You need to check out. You need to take your family with you. Like, no, this man had a serious mental health problem. And so, like, all these underlying mental health issues that most of the extreme leftists have, they just get brought out by this new Donald Trump presidency because they do nothing but scroll the wrong side of Twitter or go down these Reddit holes. Like, I heard there's a Reddit hole that, since Donald Trump is going to be the same age as Joe or older than Joe Biden when he gets inaugurated, that Donald Trump is going to be deemed unfit to serve, and JD's going to swoop in, and JD is the actual new Hitler.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay,
That's
buddy.
so far down the fucking rabbit hole. Number one. Number two. Did you not see the last day of the Donald Trump rallies? He had
four
rallies in one day. He finished up in Michigan at 2 a.m., got back to Mar-a-Lago at 5:30, and then voted at 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Have you also watched any of the hour-plus long podcasts that he has been on? There's one in particular. He went on Joe Rogan, and it was almost 3 hours
and
long.
He didn't pee. And he didn't pee.
He didn't have anything to drink. No water, nothing. Just raw.
I bet you he had a crisp Diet Coke when he got back.
Oh, you know it. I've actually started to drink Diet. I had a couple. It is anyway.
It brings it out. I really don't. Bobby, I'm gonna appoint you.
Donald, we need to have a safe country.
Bobby, don't fuck with my Diet Coke, Bobby. Don't do it.
But Donald, the oil, we have to stop fracking.
I don't care if there's oil in my Diet Coke, Bobby. Don't touch the Diet Coke.
The environment, Donald, the environment. We have to save the environment.
I'm sorry. We need to do like a sec. We should start making skits.
Dude, we should.
Is what you.
Dude, it was
do.
so. Oh my god, the fluoride comment. Still, I'm laughing, like internally laughing.
We
didn't have less.
Anyway, should we talk about this? I don't really care about this thing. I want to talk about the next
fuck
thing.
These morons.
All right. So
also the dude who killed himself and his parent or his whole family. Honestly,
it's
dude,
a tragedy.
I hope you're in hell burning for the rest of your life. There's no.
Nobody deserves to die,
yeah,
but nobody also deserves to be killed by their own family.
No. I mean, I don't know. The guy who killed himself, I'm glad he's dead. But for his entire family, it was it's disgusting.
So the left now, because Trump won, they're scrambling for any sense of hope. They're obviously all mentally ill. So this is another clip from The View, ironically, and we'll just let it play and see if it loads. But anyway, so this is Sonny Hostin. They had Stephen A. Smith on, and they asked him if he would ever run for president, and I thought it was an interesting answer. So we'll play this clip for you. Here we go.
Been asked, I hear, about running for political office in the future, and some people have said that they could see you running for president. Would you do that? You think you qualify to run for president? I mean, the bar is pretty low anyway. Can you rephrase that? I mean, I just think that the bar is really low because Trump really had no political experience and went from 0 to 100, right? He didn't.
Okay.
City council.
Okay.
Like that. So the bar is low. Anyone can run.
I have said this on many occasions.
Oh fuck! I didn't
You're
mean to
good.
do
You're
that.
good.
Can we at least point out the fact that Stephen A. is. I don't want to say neither right nor left because he did come out against Barack Obama and say all that shit that we covered a couple weeks ago. So that was nice.
He did.
But I do want to just point out the fact that Stephen is a basketball analyst.
Yeah,
he's a
analyst.
sports
He'll talk
analyst.
about football too.
Right, but I don't know, to say that the bar is so low that we're gonna allow Stephen A. to be the president, that's just like saying that the bar is so low. Shaquille O'Neal and Donald Trump are on the same playing field, and it's like I love Shaquille. He was a great basketball player, and he's goofy as fuck to watch on TNT. I don't even think he's going to be on anymore. But what are we talking? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
But see his response. I think it's kind of interesting. He didn't say directly no, but it's interesting. Here we go.
Because I like my life. I'm living a pretty good life. But I must confess, I wish I could debate some of these guys. I'd love to be on a debate stage going up against these guys with the presidency on the line.
Don't say that because we will arrange that.
I'm half joking, but I kind of mean it. I mean, I have no desire to be a congressional figure or a senator. But if you came to me and you told me I had a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States of America, I would definitely consider it. But here's the problem.
So you want to break through the line?
That's right. Yes, absolutely. For that, yes, because others have, including Democrats, by the way. Yeah. I mean, they broke the line. What's wrong with me doing it? But I would be an independent because I don't like either side, and I'm not going to be bought and paid for. I'm going to.
How about that?
I like that. Questionable, because truth be told, Luke and I are both independent. We've said it before. We could have possibly voted for Barack Obama.
I mean, listen,
if we were old enough, we
that
probably
was a lie. I didn't want to seem racist.
Come on.
I wanted McCain to win. I wanted Romney to win. Nah, that's just who That's who. I'm sorry,
but
I followed these elections though.
Right. But you could say that. I mean, there is a.
I'd vote for Stephen A.
There's a sense of independency between us. Like, we're very libertarian when it comes to the stance on the abortion. We share those rights, or we share those beliefs where abortion should stand. And we share a lot of beliefs with the Republicans, but we hear the Democrat side. Like, I hear it. I hear it. If you stop pandering and stop being degrading to every group you talk about,
I think I'll probably vote Republican for the next couple of decades because I don't have any faith in the Democratic Party. Like, I feel
but
like
what
the
about
Democratic.
Stephen A? If Stephen A's independent, I'm not saying jumping ship and going Democratic because obviously Republican to us.
If Stephen A went independent, I would strongly consider it.
Yeah, we'd have to see how the campaign goes.
But like in terms of the Democratic Party, what they become, I don't see myself voting for them in the next couple decades.
No, I don't.
This was the party in American politics where like it was the majority of people. But now we talked about this on the show before. Republicans now have more active people that are registered as Republicans than Democrats for the first time since the 80s. Anyway, so Donald Trump is going to be the president for the next 4 years, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit for a couple more minutes before we end the show.
Absolutely.
The Browns don't play this week.
I was about to say we're going to rock this bye week.
We're going to shut the we're going to shut the computer.
Oh, we're shutting the computer.
All right, 2028.
2028.
Who do you think has a shot to win before we wrap up here? I think J.D. Vance is a front runner no matter what.
I think there's three big names.
For the Republican ticket, then we'll go Democrat.
I think there's three big names on the Republican side. I think that if we want to switch up the narrative and win by a landslide, Tulsi Gabbard
I would love to vote for her.
Somewhere on that ticket.
I would feel so happy to vote for her.
Even if it's a J.D. and Tulsi as VP, I would even vote for Tulsi as president.
I would vote for her as president no matter what.
I think the big three are...
I would be so happy to vote for her and put the first women in office as the president of the United States. I would feel so patriotic doing that. I mean, I hate to sound like a fucking liberal and a woke.
No, but there's a difference between a woke woman in office or a woman who has served, who literally has a white stripe in her hair because of the stress of being a medic.
Yes.
I
would be so happy to vote for her, dude. I would feel so patriotic. I love what she stands for, the anti-war stance. Anyway, so Tulsi Gabbard.
So Tulsi, JD, and Vivek. I think those are the three big names in conservative. In conservative, I want to say politics, but also just in the videos that they're getting online and the love that they're getting online through. You see, like Charlie Kirk and Vivek doing the Turning Point stuff, and I don't know. I mean, I think that there's just such a strong form for the conservative side of things now, or like. You have Tucker Carlson, who single-handedly is trying to open people's eyes to the 300,000 missing kids. Like, Tucker is so unhinged now that he's not tied to Fox. Fox News alone gets a lot of love. Greg Gutfeld.
Oh,
it's a great late-night show. Oh. Great late-night show. I mean, especially when you got... Jesse
Waters.
Jesse Waters.
You know what? I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of him too. I'm a fan of him too. You got Jesse Waters after Jesse.
I can't do
you got,
Laura Ingraham. I
can't do it either. But you got
Hannity.
That's what I was about to say. You have Hannity, and then right after Hannity, you have Gutfeld. So bangers throughout the week, just in conservative media. Then you have Tucker doing his own thing on X. You have Elon, who is gonna remain. He's not just tied to Donald Trump. I think he's tied to this Democratic or the Republican Party. He and Tucker, he loves Tucker. If Joe continues on the conservative side of things, like and Joe's never gonna move to a conservative like media space. But I mean to put a platform up where you can put RFK on. You could put Vivek to sit down there and plead his case, because Vivek will talk to him like a real dude. The only issue that I have, the one and only issue, is that Donald Trump is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump speaks how only Donald Trump speaks.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't speak like a bro, like when JD sat down with Theo or Joe. Like, that was a more easy listen.
And so now you run the risk of potentially losing voters in the future because they're not voting for Donald Trump. That's the only. But Trumpism is going to continue on with JD. Anyway, Let's talk about the Democratic side for a couple minutes before we wrap. Who do you think in 2028? I read Michelle Obama is the first front runner.
I think Big Mike is the only person that I could see actually grabbing it by the balls and taking over the Democratic Party.
I think Kamala Harris, though.
I don't.
Can I tell you the truth about Kamala?
Go ahead.
We're never going to hear about her again.
We're never.
After January 20th,
We're never.
the Democratic Party is going to throw her in the trash, and she will retire in the wine country of California.
Yeah. Same with Tim Walz.
No,
Tim Walz
I think Tim Walz will be around for a little bit because he's currently a governor.
But
though.
what do you? No. But I'm saying for presidency.
Oh,
we're never going to hear from Tim Walz again. Yes, in the governor position.
Yeah, you'll still hear about him a little bit every now and then, but on the national stage, not as much.
It's going to be like,
I'm saying on the national stage, you're not going to hear about Kamala at all. Like nobody in history ever remembers who did Ronald Reagan run against, right? I can't tell you exactly though.
Right.
That's what it's going to be. People are going to remember Trump versus Hillary because of all the viral moments. Because Hillary, not only was she Secretary of State, but she was also a senator for New York, and she was also the wife of a sitting president for 2 terms. Obviously, right? She's a big political family, but like. Nobody's going to remember Kamala in a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. The Democratic Party is going to throw her in the trash because she is an empty pantsuit. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kamala is not even going to be a factor.
So
People
who
are
do you
saying
think? So who do you think?
it's going to be Michelle. They're going to try for Mark Cuban, right? They're going to try for well, listen, somebody
I
like
get
a Mark
it.
Cuban.
Okay.
They're going to try for a populist candidate.
Yeah.
They're going
to try to get a Trump of their own.
They're going to try to get J.B. Pritzker, who's the fat ass governor billionaire from Illinois. It's not going to happen. He's too fat. I'm sorry. They're going to try for Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty unlikable, but I mean, she's the governor in Michigan, so obviously she has appeal to the working class, right? They're going to try for Josh Shapiro, which I think is probably their best bet going forward.
I do as well.
I don't know who their populist candidate is going to be. Mark Cuban kind of tarnished his reputation the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did.
So
see
I don't
that.
know.
I did see that. And I don't know.
I think Michelle's number 1, but like,
because everybody said that Michelle's number 1, but does Michelle just like? 'Cause Michelle's getting older. You know what I mean? Like at some point they're getting older, and at some point Barack and Michelle are going to only come out every 4 years to be surprised.
We've been hearing from them too much, by the way.
Oh my God, we have. Go back to Martha's Vineyard, you fuck nuts. Barack, please go keep blowing your chefs or whatever you're doing. Get out of here.
What happened to your chef who was a great swimmer, a fantastic swimmer,
died in
but
3
died
feet of
in,
water.
I thought it was 2.
Oh yeah, it was.
But died in a pond or a pool that was 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
How'd that happen, Barack?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we're just all sweeping it under the rug.
Anyway, but yeah, that's what I think, man. So we'll see. But Donald Trump is your president yet again, folks. The leftist tears, let the liberal tears keep coming. We're big fans of that. We punch down. And now, for the rest of the time, we will be pushing unity.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that it's fun to make fun of the crazy left side of things.
But we're done.
We're done. We won't cover, people shaving their heads off. Obviously, from what happens now until Jan 20.
We'll see if they invoke the 25th.
Yeah.
We'll see if they push Biden out and they make Kamala Harris 47.
Yeah.
Then Trump will be 48.
I've seen a lot of things. Alex Jones especially that was, talking about that's going to happen. But
Will
then
he
they're
be the
just
press
going to-
secretary? That'll be another thing. But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, ultimately, like we said, we're going to push unity. I posted it on my story, and I only got love from Republicans on it, but it was basically what's done is done. The people have spoken in outstanding numbers now.
Yeah.
Outstanding numbers. So, again, like we said, what's done is done. All you can do is hope and pray that Trump does the things that he promised to do while running. He never promised to give you a national abortion ban.
Yeah.
He never promised to take away gay marriage.
Nope.
You can only control so many things, so let's just look at what he's campaigned for. He's campaigned to make America great again.
Yes.
And Kamala Harris campaigned on joy.
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 I did not hear anything from Kamala about preventing World War III.
No.
That was one of the backdrops of Trump's campaign.
Right.
Now, he did say he would end the Russia-Ukraine conflict in his first day of being president-elect. I think that was a little bit of a gross exaggeration, but nevertheless, we'll see.
Putin did come out
That's
and say,
true.
yeah.
All our enemies are backing down. China says they're looking forward to working with the U.S. again.
Yeah.
Hamas is calling for peace.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Russia, Putin congratulated Trump and said something to the degree of what Xi said, we're looking forward to working with America, right? Everything. whatever. So these things are happening to a degree, but we'll see. I'm happy that we're not going to be in Ukraine. I'm happy that we're not going to be serving in Ukraine.
Yes. I'm happy that we're still able to make this podcast.
Freedom of speech.
Because, I mean, there could be some misinformation thrown in here that the Democrats would have just shut us right down.
There definitely was. And so that's why we'll just, maybe.
No.
We're having.
Everything is true that we say.
Donald, we're having fun. We're having fun. You know, when my uncle was president, we had fun. We all had freedom of speech.
Bobby, nobody had more fun than I did. Bobby, I was a billionaire in the 90s. I was a billionaire in the 80s. Bobby, nobody sniffed more pussy than me, not even your pussy uncle. Bobby, I'm going to get the files released, Bobby. I am.
Donald, you have to release the files about my uncle. Donald, in the 90s, are talking about pussy. Donald, now the women don't even want to have a pussy. They want to have a penis. Donald, we have to get rid of all of these big pharma companies.
Bobby, your uncle wouldn't have agreed to everything that's going on in this country right now. There's no way, so we need to make your uncle proud. First of all, we're going to dig up Marilyn Monroe. We're going to make her tits great again.
Donald, my uncle's in the basement right now. You can meet him if you want. Donald, he's been alive this whole time.
Dude, you do a great
Thank
Bobby
you.
Kennedy.
It's
That's
the only.
great.
I did it it was last Saturday for my family. They liked it.
Yeah,
I can only
great.
do it when I'm not looking at anybody though.
Yeah, no. Every time I'm like doing it, my eyes are closed, and my Trump's not even that good. But I mean,
it's a good Trump.
It's okay. It's okay. But Donald Trump is I am your 47th president of the United States.
This is so fun.
It is, dude. I'm having
we
a
really
great
have
time.
a live audience right here. Thank you everybody for being.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you. This is great. This is great, dude. I love this.
I know, dude.
America's back.
America's
Shide.
back.
We're having a great time. Folks, if you're on the left and you've still watched to this point, God bless you. But I hope you guys realize too, America is going to be great for everybody, not just people on the right or people that voted for Trump.
Right.
Like, we have to establish this. America is going to be good for everybody. Your rights are not going to be taken away. We're going to have a very prosperous time. Hopefully this leads to manufacturing coming back. I know we didn't talk about tariffs. Tariffs are probably going to hurt us short term, but the goal is to bring manufacturing back to America. So we'll see what happens, but a lot of hope for the future. It was a pleasure doing this episode. Probably the most fun I've had in a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there. These crazy left women keep shaving their heads. The carpets do not match the drapes. Their bushes are huge. Their head is bald. Don't get caught.
And please watch out for the fluoride. Have a good one.